Hey guys, Crazypostman here. Well, once again, we're going to do a Yuka testing video. If you saw the video with Yuka I did last week, it was posted as a short, so probably not all my viewers saw it, but we did some leaf sweeping in my front yard, which is not a very huge challenge because I have a small front yard. I thought it would be a fun challenge today to go to my parents' house and try to sweep some leaves in their large backyard. Now they have tons of pecan trees, and the pecan leaves seem to fall first. I know my dad has used the electric Cub Cadet to chop some of them up, so hopefully there's still plenty back there, which I'm sure there is. We'll be able to find an area in the backyard to put Yuka to a major test. I got a whole bunch of crap here in the car with me. There's a cat litter box in the back. I don't know that I'm going to review that on this channel. It's kind of, it is tech because it's an automatic litter box, so I may put that on my extra channel, or I may put it here, or I may not review it.
Editor Crazypostman here. This is the first and last time you will see it. I decided not to make a video over it, but the cat likes it and it's doing what it's supposed to do, so there you go.
It was a Black Friday find by a no-name brand. It's pretty much the cheapest one. It is not the infamous model that strangled the cat and unfortunately caused it to pass away. This is a different design. But getting back to Yuka, I got Yuka way in the back. I don't know if you can see it back there. I got the Duckster with me too. So we're going to my mom and dad's house and we're going to put this Yuka to the test. It was a bit of a debacle this morning getting Yuka ready to go because I found out somebody likes to do something special to Yuka. As you can see here in this picture, Mr. Duck back there likes to christen Yuka with the golden showers, and it smelled awful, so I had to do a little spraying off before I got it in the car today. Poor Yuka. Let me throw it to past Crazypostman here so you can see me getting Yuka ready for the trip this morning. Got Yuka over there drying off. I've decided I'm not going to take the charging station. Hopefully Duck hasn't peed on that. I am going to have to uninstall our RTK here. Take it with me. Just make sure you know once you move the RTK, your maps are toast. That was a pretty good zip tie. So now I'm just going to throw this in the car and head off. The pole was full of water. When I put it in my car, it spewed its water everywhere. All right, I got the Yuka in the trunk ready to go on its field trip. Let's get out of here. Well, Duck and I will see you when we get there. All right, so we finally got here to Mom and Dad's house. So we got the RTK stuff over here. This seems like as good of a spot as any out here. I'll probably just plop it out there. Nice open view of the sky. It's plenty far away from the house, and there's not much tree cover this time of year because the leaves are all dead. In Mammotion's glorious wisdom, you can't just plug the RTK directly into the power here. As you can see here, these two ends, although they are both just 2-pin connections, they're different shapes and incompatible. So thank you, Mammotion, for that. We have to always use the extension cable even if we don't need it. Alright, so it's all plugged in, and of course I have no blue light because why would anything go right? So we're gonna have to figure out where the problem is here. Probably right here because I'm an idiot. I have not turned on this outlet. There we go. I put that under the shrub so it wouldn't get as much heat from the sun. Thank goodness. So we will just leave this here in the front yard to acquire position, and we'll head back to Yuka in the backyard. You can see this is the situation Yuka has right now. Lots and lots of leaves. So there will be plenty of leaves to experiment with here. Remember, I didn't bring the charging station, so we only have one battery's worth of experimenting we can do. So let's get everything set up in the app and we'll get Yuka sweeping, see how it does. The Google Pixel phone is really hard to use with a wired mic. Every time I go to open the camera app and record, I have to remember to toggle wired mic on because it defaults to the phone mic every time, no matter what. I hate it. So if the audio quality goes back and forth between mic quality and phone quality, you'll know why. Let's get Yuka fired up here. There we go. It's going to get booted up, and I will meet y'all in a screen recording in the app. So here we are in the backyard. You can see all the leaves, and we are in the app. It still wants me to do the heading calibration. That's because Luba has been turned off and back on, and it doesn't know which direction is north. So you have to drive it a little bit so it knows what direction it's going on the map. It knows exactly where it is, because it has a position here. You can see a fine position report, but it doesn't know what direction north is. So it has no idea what way it's going. So you have to drive it forward a few feet. All right, now it knows where it is. What we're gonna do is, last year I did this same video with Luba, and I did it right over here. So I think I'm gonna have Yuka do the same area Luba did, so they can be kind of compared more together. And then after it finishes this little area here, maybe I'll go ahead and do a torture session of just, somewhere out in the yard, just to do another quick time-lapse video of it, sweeping everything up. So for the first video here, we're gonna map off this little area of the backyard and see how it does. To make a map, we're gonna go into map, we're gonna create an area. Got it. I know how to do it. And we're ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play.
Start mapping a task area.
It said start mapping a task area, in case you didn't hear. So we're just going to make a nice little square here. My attempts at making a square might not be very square. Okay, we've completed our map. We click finish to save it.
Task area mapping completed.
So one thing I just now noticed, I forgot to put the counterweight on the Luba's front here. So if the bag gets really heavy, it might do a Papa Willie. We'll see if that happens. I don't expect it to happen since this area is really flat here. So now we have to choose a dumping location. We're going to create a dumping spot. So it says click to create. So now we got to drive to the dumping spot. And we're just going to put it over here by these trash cans. We're going to put it right there. Let me turn around. Dumping spot. Please control the robot back to the task area. Okay. So now we have successfully created a dumping spot. So we're going to say mow area 1 because I only have one area. Now, I don't really want to mow, I just want to sweep. So I'm going to turn off mowing and I'm going to turn down the speed. And I'm going to make the dumping interval very small, just until I can see how it's working out, and then I may increase it. You can do that in the menu after you start mowing, but since there is a lot of leaf coverage here, we're going to have to dump quite often. Yuka's little bagger attachment is not that big, so Since there's a lot of leaves here, we're going to have it dump as often as possible. We'll do a checkerboard path so it has a great chance of getting everything. Let's not do any perimeter laps. No no-go zone laps. Zigzag first. Alright, it's ready to hit start. It says it's going to take 22 minutes, but that's not true. It doesn't account dumping time into that number, so it's definitely going to take longer than 22 minutes. I will let you know the actual time. Let me get the time-lapse cameras set up and we will hit start. I just told it to start working. Got the time-lapse cameras running. Let's see how this thing does. You can see there is quite a lot of leaves. It is set to go dump every 20 feet right now, which is a lot. So it did one tiny little run, and now it's going to go over there and dump. It will just go back there and hopefully turn around. There you go. And then dump its load. And then it's going to make another tiny little strip of progress, and it's going to do this over and over and over until it's done it in both directions. Remember, I have it set to do a double cut here. So we'll leave it to the time lapse here, and I will be back with you when it's done or if something goes wrong. Now, there are little sticks out here hidden in the leaves, so you know, that may cause a problem. I will let you know if it does. It has gotten stuck here. You can see it's trying to push this big pile, but it's not able to do it. Let's tell it to try again. I'll show you what's happening. You see? It's just trying to push this giant hill. It can't do it. You would think if it couldn't get to where it needs to get to dump, it would dump somewhere else. Because you can see it's made several little dump spots here. You can see dump, 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 dump. But for some reason, it wants to continue using this large pile. So I will kick this out of the way. Now, we'll see what it wanted to do.
Continue working. The front wheel lifted.
Uh-oh. Try again.
Paused. Continue working.
There it goes. So now it's going to continue on. It's doing a pretty dang good job. You can see it's made quite the path here because it's come quite a few times, but look at this. That's clear. Just a few pieces missed. So it's just a little bit more to go here, and this has done a very good job. We'll let it finish. All Alright, well it's basically done, and you can tell it did a very good job on this little area here. You can see the line in the sand over here where it went from sweeping to not sweeping. So there's no doubt that it will do a good job in sweeping mode. I guess it finishes up over here. Since there's no charging station, it did its final dump and just stopped right here. But you can see its little piles that it's made. It did like a horseshoe design. Let me zoom out here if you can see that. It did like a horseshoe design. So it did one dump at the whole horseshoe here, and then the main dumps were just in the back area. So that's what I was saying earlier. If it fills up and it can no longer get to where it needs to get to, why didn't it try one of these alternate locations that had already started? So that was strange. So that's going to bring us to an end of this experiment. You can see the Yuka passed with flying colors here, except for the dumping area. There was a small snafu over there that you saw earlier, but you know, it had already made a huge pile. They maybe just need to work on the dumping routine to where if it does get stuck while it's trying to dump, it will go to one of its alternate pile locations. That's the only thing I can see that is not ideal right now. It did a great job picking up these leaves. If I wanted to have it keep going, it could finish the rest of the yard, but there's really no point. Like I said, we just used the mower to mow them down. I will link the Luba video from last year in the description if you want to check out Luba trying to chop the leaves up. Spoiler alert, it doesn't do quite that good of a job. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. So we're in extra territory now. I went ahead and told it to mow the next little section, and this time I told it to mow and sweep. So we'll see how much battery it uses this time. I started at 75%. So it used 25% to sweep this area. The next area is a bit bigger. I'm going to see how much it uses to mow and sweep the next area. If y'all don't want to watch anymore, you certainly are welcome to go ahead and quit watching now. This little extra, it wasn't going to be a part of the video, but I'm doing it now. So if you want to stick around and see how it does, you can. If not, then thanks for watching. My time-lapse battery will probably die before this area gets finished anyway. Alright, well here's the final product. Yuka is completely done, and really, where I had it going fast, it's not much different than the other side. You can see over here where it didn't do anything. Of course, there was already not that many leaves on that side of the yard, but you can really tell over here. Right here's a good dividing line between very leafy and then moderately clean. So I think it did a pretty good job. Finished up over here. I'll show you its final little piles. And there you have it. Alright, this is really the end now. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.